First things first, whenever you handle a firearm, air gun, BB gun, slingshot, bow and arrow, anything, one of the best general rules that you'll ever learn is never point it at anything that you wouldn't be willing to kill, because you never know, you might point at somebody just playing, it goes off, you know, then what happens. So never point it at anything unless you intend to shoot it. Hello, I want to welcome everyone to my review of 2 pellet guns from Crosman Corporation. Right as I get started, I want to thank Cameron from Crosman for emailing me back and allowing me to do the reviews on these. That's part of why I'm doing the video like this. The 2 rifles I'm going to be using today, this one is a Crosman Stealth. And this one is a Benjamin Genesis. I'm going to go over them a little bit. Okay. The Crosman Stealth, it's a break barrel 177, 1000 lead, and 1200 feet per second pellet gun. Air rifle, different people call them different things. A lot of times I call them pellet guns, but technically it's an air rifle. And what it is it's a break barrel model. So what you do is when you break it down, you'll break it down, stick your pellet in there, and load it back up. But before we go into a whole lot of loading it and everything, I want to go over a few little safety things. You've got your safety in front of the trigger, so safety's on right now. You'll flick it forward to fire. Before you get to checking, you want to check out your rifle. Make sure that your screws are tight. Make sure that nothing's loose on it. Take and check your scope. Make sure that your eye relief is set just right. And this is a nice little rifle here. And this one, same thing. Just check out, check your scope, your screws, your safety. It's break barrel also, but it's 22 caliber, 800 feet per second lead, 950 feet per second alloy. Now before you get started shooting, you'll want to make sure that you've got some kind of eye protection on to protect yourself, because even if you've got a good backstop or you're shooting in the woods, I mean, pellets still bounce off of things, they ricochet. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, and you don't want one coming back hitting you in the eye, because eye problems ain't no good. And once you get everything set, get everything in place, all of your equipment, you'll take and break it open, cock it. I prefer the break barrel models because you ain't got to sit there and pump them up 10 times. You can just cock it once and you're ready to go. You'll take, and when you break it open, you'll see the breech. You'll take and put your pellet in there, close it back up. You want to make sure to keep your safety on at all times so you get ready to shoot. Then you just take and, what I recommend to do when you get ready to shoot, just take aim, relax, take a deep breath, just let it out, just release all the air out of your lungs, and then you're ready to fire. So for my first test, I'm going to be using 177 and 22 caliber pointed pellets. You can see the 22 caliber on the right, see the 177 on the left, just depending on what type of game you're going after, or whether it's paper targets or whether it's an animal, depend what you want to shoot with it, because they both got their advantages and disadvantages. And I'm going to be showing you in blocks of soap to start with, and give you an idea of the penetration wound channel off of each of these calibers. These are the pointed bullets. This one's the 177 in my left hand, 22 caliber in my right hand. And as far as like the exit holes, show you a difference in them. You can see that 22 left a somewhat bigger hole than the 177 did. These two are destroyer pellets. The 177 on the left and then 22 on the right. They've got a little dome with a spike in the middle of it. That way to where when it hits, it expands good, but it also punches through hard due to the spike in it. This is the 177 and 22 caliber destroyer pellets at 20 yards. And these are the destroyer pellets, the same. My left hand is a 177, my right hand is a 22 caliber. But when you flip them around on these, you can tell a pretty good little difference in 22 and the 177 caliber, because see, they were just a lot more terminal damage on it. They both did a real good impact and a real good hole through it though. So, and that's from 20 yards. Here's an up close comparison of all four shots. This one is a 177 pointed pellet. This one's the 22 caliber pointed pellet. This one is the 177 destroyer, and this one is the 22 caliber destroyer. This is the new Piranha pellet. It's got accuracy like a dome and expansion like a hollow point. See the little teeth inside of it? That way it hits, it just opens up and tears through, while it's also got good penetration. Okay, here's the blocks of soap that I shot with both rifles. These two here, this is the 177 and the 22 caliber. The reason I did two blocks of soap is to give a better effect, and that way you could tell a little bit more about what the pellet was going to do as it passed through something. Because see, both of these was the pointed bullets. These two were the 177 22 caliber destroyer pellets, where they hit, where they pass through. Same as before, the one in the left is the 177, the one on the right is the 22 caliber. And on these I actually shot two different targets of them. So here's another set of targets with 177 right here on the left and 22 on the right, and the pass-through holes on them. And this is a new Piranha pellet. It was a complete pass-through, same as the others. Good hole on the back side, and basically it's supposed to have the range and penetration of the dome or soft points, but it's got the spikes on the teeth like I showed you earlier, to where it's got the expansion of a hollow point also. These are some of the targets I like that's offered by Crosman air rifles also. They come in a groundhog, a crow, a squirrel, and a rat, and they're real good for shooting. So I'm going to set one of these up at 30 yards and check the accuracy from 30 yards. Okay, now to start off with, I shot 5 177s, then I shot 5 of the 22 caliber, and then I shot a mixture of 5 177s and 5 of the 22 calibers at the groundhog. And as you can see, just depending on your aim pattern and your scope, some rifles are just inherently more accurate than others. Other rifles you'll be able to hit with better than others. I was using pointed pellets for all 3 of these tests right here with each of the 5 shot groups. So every rifle's different. You might have one that shoots better with hollow points. You might have one that shoots better with destroyers, but just for general purposes, I was using the pointed pellets for the 30-yard test. Now for this test, to show you that it can be done, this is the top of a 55-gallon oil drum, and I've got it set up at about 80 yards away, just to show that if you walk it in, you can hit targets. I don't recommend shooting an animal that far with the pellet gun, but I'm going to show you that it is possible to hit targets that far. I'm going to be using the 177 caliber for this test because of the flatter trajectory. And that's what you can do with a good bench rest and a good rifle. Take and get you a good steady prop and aim, and that's really impressive for that much distance, because I'm gonna say that's probably between 5 and 6 inch shot group, and for that distance with the pellet gun, that is very impressive. Okay, so let's review what we've learned today. We started off firing at 20 yards, we backed off to 30 for the paper target, and then the 55-gallon drum was set up at 80 yards, and that was pretty much just to show people that pellet guns will actually shoot further than they think they will. 22 caliber Benjamin Genesis, I really like it. It's really good. My honest opinion of it is excellent short to medium range pellet gun. The groups that it was throwing out and the accuracy that it was showing, I'm going to take and try it with another scope, and I'm going to have another video on pellet guns coming up later. The Crosman Stealth model, great accuracy, great range. Between the two, I believe I'd have to pick this one out as the best of the two right now. But like I say, I'm gonna take and put another scope on this one and retry it, and I'll show you what happens in a later video on it. But right now, for overall usage, accuracy, I'm gonna have to go with the Stealth on my honest review of the two rifles.